We are live. Okay, let me just get everything set up here. Hey, players, thank you so much for joining the Valentine's Day, the last minute tips on getting Valentine's Day, getting a date for Valentine's Day. Let me reword that title here. Last minute tips for getting less. How are you guys doing? Oh boy. So basically, let me run you through what's going on here. This is going to be a Valentine's Day Q&A live stream. I've kind of mentioned that several times now. This week, all week long, I'm doing Valentine's Day videos where I'm kind of talking about different Valentine's Day topics, different date ideas, gift ideas, different things you might be interested in doing for Valentine's Day, if you're spending it with someone, if you're not. So hopefully those videos could be super helpful for you. Definitely check them out, all the videos I've done this week. But what I wanted to do is jump on this Q&A. I wanted to do one. My goal is to do one every single month. And this month, I think Valentine's Day is a crucial time period for a lot of people, especially since, Valentine's Day is next week, guys. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to figure out what you're going to do, who you're going to spend it with, all these different things kind of come to mind here, and I want to help you guys work through it. So here's how this is going to work. I want you guys to submit your questions in the live chat right now. I'm going to be going through and picking different questions from the live chat and answering them. We'll see how many I can get to. Right now there's a fire truck just driving on by, but I want to get you guys as prepared as possible for Valentine's Day. So right now I'm going to jump and look at the chat. I see a few people in there. Kyla Lovecat says, hi, Josh. How you doing, Kyla? Let's see, a few other people in here. Jeff the Gaming King, Dylan Nolan, Vito. A lot of these people also leave comments. So guys, thank you for, it's your boy Xander. I know it's Xander. A lot of you guys are involved in the comments and stuff in my videos, so your names are familiar. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to grab one question. First question is going to be this. Enster says, hey Josh, I was in one of your streams a few days ago, the Lady Bits story. The problem I'm having with my crush now is that I'm having issues with trying to in a sense hit the reset button. Okay, so what it sounds like, Enster, is that like you kind of had this experience where you kind of said something you shouldn't have said around your crush, kind of created this awkward type of setting, awkward type of situation for you, and now it's like, how do you rebound? How do you kind of fix the situation, smoothen things out when you've kind of messed things up a little bit with your crush? I think the simple answer is this. I think that when you do something that kind of makes someone feel uncomfortable, the first thing you should do is take ownership over what happened, right? A lot of times people think, well, let me just avoid it. Let me not talk about it. But I think you should take ownership. If you made someone feel uncomfortable, there's nothing wrong with telling them, hey, I'm really sorry for what I said. I wasn't thinking, or, I probably could have handled that situation better. Take ownership over what you did, and then let them know, hey, look, I still think you're cool. I still want to get to know you. I'm okay with you being your friend. Hopefully you're okay with being my friend. But if you need some space right now, then that's okay, cool too. Let that person know that you're okay with giving them space if they need it. And then be honest about that. Actually give them the space that they need to kind of process what's going on and how they feel. Now, it's possible in that moment they may feel like, screw you, I don't want anything to do with you, which is okay. That's a normal human response. Sometimes when someone does something that makes you feel uncomfortable or awkward or embarrassed. But as time goes on, hopefully they can think it through a little bit better and say, hey, you know what? If this person's truly coming to me with good intentions, then maybe I should be open to it. That's a process that they have to go on their own. You can't force them to do it. You can't force them to like you back. You can't force them to even accept you as a friend back. You just have to kind of give them their space to learn and grow on their own. So I hope that's helpful for you. Here's the thing too, guys. I'm just going to kind of be spitballing, grabbing questions in the chat here. So keep them coming. Keep on writing what's going on in the chat, your questions, everything like that. If you guys have a question that you want to definitely bring to the top, maybe I don't catch it in the chat and maybe I miss it, you can always use the super chat function. So the super chat function, as you're typing your comments here on the bottom there on the screen, you should see a little like $ symbol. From there, you should be able to donate a super chat. It can be $1 or $2, $5. I don't even know. You can put any amount that you want. And what that'll do is it'll pop up right there on the chat screen saying, hey, this is a super important question. This person wants you to answer it. And I will immediately jump to that question and answer for you guys. So if you have a question that you really, really need to get answered, the super chat function is the best way to kind of make it stand out above the rest. So let's see here. Dylan Nolan says, hey, Josh, by the way, the crush said that I was lovely. What does that mean? Is she flirting or should I ask her out? That's a good question. So sometimes you might run into situations where your crush compliments you, right? They say something like, hey, you're pretty cool. Hey, I think you're nice. Hey, I think you're cute. And it leaves you kind of wondering, well, what do they mean? Are they just saying it to be flirty? Are they just being funny? Are they being sarcastic maybe? It's not always easy to decipher what someone means when they say it, right? So I think the best way to kind of approach that is, instead of trying to play detective and trying to figure out, well, I'm going to analyze every look that they give me, every word that they say, every hair flick that they do. Instead of trying to analyze all of that, I'm just going to jump right into it and talk to them. I'm going to engage with them, because the best way to really find out if someone is interested in you or if someone likes you is to talk to them, is to ask them out, is to kind of spend more time interacting with them. If they're receptive to that, if they're open to the idea of hanging out with you and talking to you more, and by that I mean, like, if you ask them to hang out and they're like, yeah, I'm down to hang out with you, you guys are able to hang out one-on-one, I would take that as a clear sign that they're interested. Now, if you want to figure out if the things that they're saying are flirty, try saying flirty things back to them and see how they respond. If they respond with this kind of like standoffishness, or like they feel like weird about it or anything like that, then you know that maybe they meant it as a joke. But the best way to kind of know is to kind of do the action yourself, to flirt with them and see how they respond to it. So let's see. Frost Gamer says, what if the girl has a man that goes to your school, but you want his girl? Okay, so if the girl has a man that goes to your school, but you want the girl. So I run into this question a lot, like, someone likes someone else that is already in a relationship. What do you do about it? My answer always comes back to this. I think it's a matter of, one, respecting the person's relationship. So for example, if your crush is choosing to be with that partner, respect that. Like, if you were in a relationship with your crush, would you want other people interfering and trying to ruin your relationship and steal your partner away? You'd be like, hey, everyone, just kind of like back off, like, respect the fact that we're together. So I would be respectful of their relationship. Now, what does that mean? How should you then interact with that crush of yours? I think it's still okay to be fun and flirty and just friendly with them in general. 3 Fs, not 4 Fs. The 3 Fs: fun, flirty, and friendly. I think if you focus on that, which means, when you're talking to your crush, you're not going to directly say, hey, I like you, let's go out. But you'll joke with them. You'll say, like, you'll use the flirty lines and stuff. I've done videos. If you're interested in learning how to flirt with your crush, check those videos out on my channel. But, you can still joke around. You can still flirt with them. Just don't ever cross the boundary. Now, where is the boundary? The boundary is different for everyone, but I would say a general boundary is pretty much making a move, let's say going for a kiss or putting your hands on them, and also just flat out asking them out. Those are two things that I think are clear boundaries. Now, some people who are in relationships may not feel comfortable even just joking around and flirting with someone else. Some people may be okay with that, but maybe don't want to I don't know, hold hands or put your arms or lean against each other. Everyone has different boundaries, but like I said, don't physically touch in any way or go for a kiss, and don't ask them out. Respect the relationship. And I think here's the thing too. It's like, since all of you guys are young, you're all young, so relationships are always up and down and in flux. So she may be dating him now, maybe in a few months she won't be. And when she isn't dating him in a few months, if you've been talking to her periodically and joking around and having fun, then when they break up, you could just step in and then ask her out, and then she'll say, well, I've been talking to this guy for a few months. He's been a lot of fun. Now I want to go out with him. So you want to build that up until they break up. And then you just step in and ask them out like normal. Okay. Let's see. Next question here. Let's see. Jason NW says, my crush is always nice to me, pulls my hair, playfully hits me. Is that a sign she likes me? Yeah, Jason. So like I was saying before, if your crush is kind of physically interacting with you like that, it might be a sign. It might not be a sign. The only way to really find out is for you to ask them out. And if they're willing to spend one-on-one time with you, then I think that's a clearer sign than trying to analyze, well, they pull my hair. Is that a sign? Don't get caught up in the little details. Focus on the bigger details. Okay, let's see. Joseph Ahmed says, when I asked out my crush, she said, I'll think about it. Then a couple days later, she said, we need to be friends and talk more just for now. Okay, so this is interesting too. So essentially what he's saying is that he's kind of asked the girl out. She wasn't really sure where she stood with him. Now, this is a normal thing. Sometimes when you kind of ask someone out, they may not be ready. They may not know whether or not they're ready for a relationship, given all the things in their life. School may be a stress on their lives, dealing with tests and studying and homework. Maybe there's family life and family things that they're thinking about and worrying about, maybe friends and drama. So there's a lot of different elements in a person's life that can kind of take their head out of the idea of like, sure, I'll have a boyfriend or girlfriend now. So in that case, I think what he's saying essentially is that like the girl isn't ready. She wants to start as friends, right? Which is a good thing, right? You should aim to start as friends with someone, because starting as friends is just being at that point where, where you guys can kind of communicate with each other, right? Talking to each other, learning about each other, opening up to each other. Starting at that point is a good baseline. And I think the way that you grow it to see, and is what she wants to do here, which is start as friends and then see if it can develop into a relationship, into something more. And I think that's the right way to go about it. It wouldn't make sense for her to jump into a relationship when she doesn't fully feel committed to wanting to be in one yet. She should work towards those feelings. So if she gave you an answer like, well, I don't know, let's start as friends, let's figure it out as we go along, that's okay. That's something you could definitely work with. So here, I just saw an interesting question. Count Sowir says, I don't understand why is it important to have a date on Valentine's Day? That's a good question. So why is it important to have a date on Valentine's Day? I don't think it's important to have a date on Valentine's Day. I do think that society and culture and our friends and everywhere puts a huge emphasis that Valentine's Day has to be this super over-the-top romantic holiday. That's the impression that we're given, that like it's all about like, it's all about beautiful love and romance and finding the one and showering them with gifts. But I don't think Valentine's Day has to be, I think, open for your own way. And how I would say, if you're going to be single on Valentine's Day, if you don't have anyone to spend it with, or if you got rejected and you don't really know what to do now, reshape Valentine's Day. And this is what I'm going to talk in more detail about in tomorrow's video, which is going to conclude my Valentine's Day week of videos. But I'm going to talk about this idea of like, you can reshape Valentine's Day to be more about general love that you have. Love for your family, love for your friends, and love for yourself. It doesn't have to be about romance for someone else. It can be about, let me show appreciation for my parents and tell them that I care about them today. Let me tell my friends that I'm happy that I have them in my life. Let me just tell myself that I'm happy that I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm proud of myself for it. Reshape Valentine's Day. I would say if you're going to be single, use it as a day to really reflect on the people that you care about, and try your best to not get caught up in the whole hoopla of like, oh, it has to be romantic and you have to have a date and you have to shower them with gifts. It's not necessary. It's just a lot of people build that idea into the holiday itself. So USAT-able says, hey, Josh, I wanted to ask my crush out on a date. Never done it before, and I'm really nervous. Also, she's always around her friends, which makes the anxiety about asking her out worse. Any tips? Okay, so basically there's a girl that you like. You want to ask her out, but you get kind of nervous about it, right? And the fact that she's always with her friends only adds to that nervousness. It creates this kind of environment where it's like, well, how do I approach her if she's never by herself? How do I start a conversation if her friends are always going to butt in? Here's the thing that I've learned about that, though. In the majority of cases, most people are going to be with their friends, right? It's going to be very rare that you find someone just kind of alone, right? So like the girl just hanging out by herself. Maybe if she's in class and she doesn't have any friends in that class, but for the most part, she's going to regroup with her friends. So you have to think about your strategy and how you talk to her. And I think part of that strategy has to be building somewhat of a relationship and a friendship with her friends. So I talked about this in a video I did a while back. This is how I got my first girlfriend. And the way I went about that was she was hanging out with her friends. And I was just like, how do I talk to her? She's talking to people. She's in the middle of a conversation right now. So what I did is I walked on over to her and her group of friends and I said, hey guys, can I ask you a question? And I asked them a question. And then I kind of went around and kind of got everyone to answer. And then from there, my crush at the time, before she was my girlfriend, my crush gave the answer that I was on the side of. So I said, oh, we got the same answer. All right, you're cool with me now. And I sat down next to her and then I turned to her and I said, so tell me more about yourself. And we just started talking. And as I started talking to her and started kind of casually talking to everyone else, all of her friends. As time went on, they were no longer looking at me as an outsider, and they started to say, okay, he's just part of the conversation. And they kind of just ignored me after a while, and they just went back to their own conversations. So to me, that's, I think, the best way to go about it. You want to kind of approach her whole group of friends, talk to them. You don't want to just only go talk to one person, because then everyone's going to be looking at you like, what is this guy doing here? What does he want? So you want everyone to feel engaged. And after a while, they're going to kind of move over and they're going to let you just talk to your crush. They're going to kind of get bored of it being a group conversation. And then from there, you can learn a little bit more about her. You can talk to her, and then you can even ask her out. You can even say, you seem like a really cool person. Let me get your number so we can hang out sometime. So I would say reshape your approach. And I know you get nervous, and I missed that piece addressing that piece, but feeling nervous is definitely something that's normal. It's going to happen there. And I think what you can do about that nervousness is practice by taking small steps, right? A small step there might be something like, whenever you see her or make eye contact, smile, make eye contact, and say hi. Focus on doing those 3 key things. To me, those are the 3 key initial steps that people should focus on if they want to talk to their crush: smiling, making eye contact, and saying hi. If you can work on practicing that, then eventually it'll be easier to actually start a conversation beyond just hi. Okay. So Anime Entertainment HD dropped a lot of these emojis and said, how do I get my crush's number? So that's a good question. I think a good way to get your crush's number, and probably a simple one, is I would say if you're going to ask for the phone number, tie it to doing something specific with your crush, right? So if you're talking to your crush and you're just in the middle of a conversation, instead of saying, can I get your number? And then leaving it at that, try saying instead, I'll use an example, right? Let's say the Black Panther movie is coming out, right? You can always say, oh man, I'm super excited about seeing Black Panther. Are you interested in movies, Marvel movies like that? Let's say she says yes. And you both kind of share that common bond of wanting to see Black Panther. You can always say, you know what? I'm going to try to get people together to see Black Panther this Friday. Let me get your number so that I can text you and let you know when we're going to put that together. And boom. Now, getting her number is part of hanging out. It isn't separate. It isn't just, can I have your number? Because in her mind, she's going to think, why does he want my number? Does he like me? Does he not like me? She's going to think all those questions. But if you tie asking for the number to an actual plan, hey, let me get your number so I can tell you about X, Y, Z, then it's easier for her to give it to you because it's just a natural progression. Like, of course he needs my number. How else is he going to contact me? So that's how I would say you can approach getting your girl or guy's number in this case. It's just tying the number to a plan. Take a sip of water. I spilled some water on my my stand here, guys, just to fill you in. The stand that I use, I have a microphone propped up on top of all of my John Green books. Literally, let me show you guys. It's all wet. This is my stand for the microphone. My John Green books and the microphone on top. If any of you guys are a fan of John Green, sound off in the chat here. I want to know. All right, so let's look at some more of these questions. So like I said, guys, you have Valentine's Day questions or even just general questions you want. And it doesn't only have to be dating questions. We could talk about anything. If you're getting bullied in school, if you're dealing with school stress, you're having problems at home, you don't feel confident about your looks, whatever's on your mind, whatever you're thinking about, I'm here to talk. So are you going to read Turtle? I did read Turtles all the way down. I have it over there. I thought it was a great book. I don't have it in this stand because I started using this amount of books to do this normally. And when I put one more book, it kind of just comes up too high. So Turtles all the way down is off on its own right now. Okay, so let's see what else. Next question here is David Victory says, what should I give my crush on Valentine's Day? So David, I kind of addressed this question in the video I did, 2 videos I did on Monday and Tuesday. If you're in middle school, if you're in high school, I have 5 different gift ideas that you can give someone in middle school and 5 you can give someone in high school. But ultimately, I would say a gift should come down to this. A gift should be something that's creative and memorable from you, right? So a lot of schools will have different things where it's like, oh, you want to send candy to someone. You want to send an anonymous flowers. You want to send a card. Schools will kind of have these different programs and that's okay. But I still think you should add a creative element to it. So if your school doesn't have those programs, just do this creative thing anyway. create something for them, whether it's drawing them a picture, whether it's making them a card, whether it's like coming up with little messages and then like putting it in a bottle. Anything that you can do that's creative and unique will make you stand out. Now, I was talking to someone before in I believe it was on Instagram, and they were telling me that they wanted to they wanted to crush a thing. So their school was going to have some kind of program where you can get something for your crush. Their school is going to have that, and they wanted to get it for their crush anonymously. And they asked me if getting an anonymous gift is a good thing. And I told them, I said, well, what would be the purpose of getting an anonymous gift? Because here's the thing. If you're giving someone a gift and your intention really is to kind of help build something more with them, to get closer to them, then I think it's like you don't want to do that anonymously. You actually want it to be known that it's from you. You want your crush to say, wow, they got me a gift. They like me. They're interested in me. You don't want them to say like, who is this from? I don't know who it's from. Oh my God, some random person likes me. I don't know who it is. Because what you're doing is you're kind of building up this mystery, but there isn't a payoff there. Unless you're actually going to go and talk to them actively, then there isn't a payoff. So if you want there to be some kind of a payoff, then I think you have to do that. So Jason, no need to spam. No need to spam the chat. I'll answer your question here. But from here on forward, no longer spamming, okay? What to do if you get rejected? Pretty basic baseline question, right? What do you do if you get rejected? I have a lot of videos on this, topic of getting rejected, how to manage it, how to deal with getting rejected. So I'll share this one solid piece of advice I think works. A lot of times when people get rejected, they don't really spend a lot of time reflecting on what they may have done wrong. They kind of just see it like, wow, this person doesn't like me. I'm stupid. I'm bad. Why don't they like me? Maybe they get angry at them, but they don't ever really reflect on their actions. So let's say, for example, you like someone and you never talk to them. You kind of just like them from a distance. And then one day you kind of just say, I like you. Will you go out with me? And they go, oh, no, I'm not really interested. Boom, rejection, right? What's important to look at in that situation is you have to ask yourself, well, did I do everything that I could to really create a situation where they would honestly want to go out with me? Was I fun? Was I engaging? Did I flirt with them? Did I learn a little bit more about them? Did I share more about myself? It's important to really, really reflect on what you're doing. Did I spam message them and maybe that annoyed them? Did I creep them out? Like, really think about your actions. And then, look, like, with you and that crush, look, maybe you ruin things, maybe they don't like you, that's that. But you can always take the things that you learn and apply that into the next person you're going after. And I think those are the two key pieces of rejection that people don't look at. Reflection over your own actions, your own behaviors, what you could have done better, and then action. And that means taking those reflective points and saying, you know what, next time I'm going to do this differently. Maybe I'm going to talk to the girl a little bit more. Maybe I'm going to joke around with her before I ask her out. Like try to really put those two into play, the reflection and the action piece. So let's see. A Gamer says, Josh, I want to talk to this girl. The problem is we had a class last semester together, but not this semester. I never see her. So how can I talk to her? I also want to say that I think she likes me. Okay. That's a good question. So, this is a girl that you like that she was in one of your classes before, but she's not in one of your classes now. So you never see her around. How do you build something with her? Well, I mean, you have to look at your actual resources here. Are you friends with her on social media of any kind? Do you have her on Snapchat or Instagram? Do you have any mutual friends in common? Are any of your friends in her classes? You have to look at where your kind of reach extends to. Look at where your reach extends to and ask yourself, what connection points do I still have with her? Now, let's assume you don't have any friends in common with her. She's just kind of out there on her own. There's no real connection to her. Well, then I would say for this moment in time, don't worry about pursuing her, because if there's nothing that really helps link you with her, then it's not really worth stressing out about. Maybe in the future, maybe you guys have a shared class together later on. For now, though, I wouldn't worry so much about it. Now, if you do have some type of connection, meaning like, oh, I'm following her on Instagram and she's following me. If that's your only touch point, then that's where you have to communicate with her. And I think if you're going to communicate through social media, for example, if you're going to communicate through social media, I think what you have to do there is you have to kind of just engage with her in a way that makes her excited to the point where she's open to the idea of hanging out with you. That might have to happen outside of school, because if you don't share any classes together, maybe that can happen at lunch. Maybe that can happen in the early morning after school. It's up to you to try to figure out where you can piece her in and where she can piece you in. But that's what I would say. So Jocelyn, hey Jocelyn, good to see you. Says, guys, why waste your time with getting someone you can't get? Have you realized the kind of generation we live in? There's girls doing drugs. So can't get. Okay, so I was reading, she put a few messages, but I think what she's saying is that, like, she's curious why guys spend so much time going after girls that maybe are not interested, or just there isn't a connection there. Why do guys kind of get so hung up on a singular girl? I think a big piece of it is that it's like, when you're attracted to someone, you really like someone, the safest place is to stay in your own head, right? Because the moment you act it out, the moment you try to make it happen, there's always a potential that can go wrong. But if it stays in your head and you're only in the position of thinking about her, well, then of course nothing is ever going to go wrong, because it's like, it's always going to work in your head. No, wait, Josh, I'm using my mom's account. Okay, it's Alan. Okay, so Alan's saying that. So my apologies, Alan, not Jocelyn. But the point still remains, though. It's like, like, people, I think, stay stuck in their head and they overthink. They think, oh, what if I were to talk to her? What if I like her? What would happen here? And they never really put it into play. So I think it's like, that's the key piece here. It's a matter of really approaching that person, talking to them, getting things going with them, rather than just kind of staying in your own mind and hoping for the best. Hoping is not a wishful strategy. That's a quote from Josh Ship. So that's an important one. So let's see. So we got a lot of comments coming in, guys. I'm just kind of picking and choosing them as I see them. So Jeff the Gaming King, man, good to see you. Says, hey Josh, I like this girl I met online a few months ago. I want to know how to take it to the next level. What should I do? That's a good question. So online relationships, how to build them, how to make them work. How do you kind of turn them into a real thing? I think sometimes you have to ask yourself, what are you hoping for, right? What do you want your online relationship to be? Do you want that person to be someone that maybe you just casually talk to online because you guys can be there for each other? That could be the type of relationship you want. Do you want the type of online relationship where you guys communicate and then eventually in the future you're going to meet up in real life? You have to ask yourself what you really want there. But in terms of making it work, I think the bare bones of it still remains the same, whether it's an in-person relationship or an online relationship. And that is all about learning a little bit more about that person, making time to talk to them and mindfully listening to what they have to share with you. Right? A lot of times when we talk to people, sometimes we're in our own heads and we're more focused. Sorry. We're more focused on what they're thinking about us than what we're displaying to them. Right? So like everyone is in their own head worrying, what are they thinking about me? So if you're talking to someone, you should dedicate your time and attention to, one, showing them that you're there actively listening, and you're really paying attention, and that'll make them feel special. So if you're talking to someone online, if it's only through text, then like you're limited in a way. If you can maybe do FaceTime or other kind of methods, then it's easier for them to kind of recognize, hey, this person's actively listening. But it would just be a matter of really learning a lot about that person and sharing with that person, so that you guys are both feel like you truly know each other. I think that's the key to making an online relationship work, because if you're not going to invest in learning about the person, well, then it's going to be easy for them to just click off and then leave, and then you disappear because you only exist online for them. Alan says, stop with the emojis. Yeah, I'm seeing massive emojis come in, guys. Okay, so Kyla Lovecats says, my boyfriend is going to college soon. What should I do? We're going to miss each other a lot. You guys can use emojis. Don't do like 30 emojis in a row, because just crazy. So, okay, so Kyla, I hear where you're coming from on that. Your boyfriend's going to college. How are you guys going to deal with that? This is something that I feel like my realistic answer on this is not as much as, it's not as optimistic as I think people would hope for it to be. Because I feel like the realistic answer is this. It's that when people do go off to college, let's say you're in a relationship and you go off to college, it's a lot harder to maintain that relationship. It's a lot harder. And the big reason why is because college is such a new environment, right? It's totally new. It's new people, new classes, a new structure of things. And when you're in that new environment, you're more prone to want to experience the full range of it. You're not going to want any kind of limitations or things to hold you back. You want to approach it and just be open with it. Times it's like going to college, really get into this tough spot where it's like one person is going away, one's not, or maybe you're both going to separate places. And it's like now it's forced into a long distance setting. Now, it's not impossible to make it work. It's totally possible to make it work. It's more difficult. So what do? How do you kind of work through that difficulty? Well, what I would suggest is this. In order to work through that long distance difficulty, you have to be a little bit more flexible and open, and a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open, and a little bit more honest with your partner. The flexibility comes in recognizing that, hey, they're in a new world of things, so you have to kind of give them a little bit of space and time to figure it out and do things on their own. I said flexibility, I said honesty. I don't remember what the third one was. Okay, but let's tackle honesty. The honesty is sharing how you feel. Sometimes you may feel like you're being neglected, or you guys don't talk enough, or you're not as close anymore. So share those feelings. Don't keep them bottled up. A lot of times people keep them bottled up while they're in a long distance relationship because they're afraid of fighting, and they'll just keep their feelings to themselves, and then boom, it just explodes and can destroy the whole relationship. So be honest. Be a little bit more flexible there. And I forgot what the third point I said was, but the third point I think is important. George Gomez says, hey, Josh, should I ask this girl I like and get her something for Valentine's Day? So that's a good question, George. I think when it comes to like just randomly getting a girl something, my answer always leans towards no. And I think the reason for that is because just giving someone a gift without the intention of following up or asking them out, I feel like it kind of hurts what you're trying to do. You know, like you haven't really built anything with that girl yet. Hey, DeMarco, what's up? You haven't really built anything with that girl yet. So you're more focused on just giving her something. And if that gift doesn't have context to it, meaning I'm going to give this girl some candy, for Valentine's Day, I'm going to send her some candy, but I'm not going to ask her out. She doesn't really know who I am. We've never really talked before. And then what? What am I going to do now that she's received the candy? Am I going to ask her out? Am I going to talk to her? If you're not planning on doing any of that, then no, I don't think a gift carries much weight there. I would say not to do it. But I do want to share, for those of you guys, I know some of you are, some of you aren't, who are following me over on, who are not following me over on Snapchat. I'm going to show my snap code here. Why is the screen so dark? Let me see. For those of you guys who aren't following me over on Snapchat, definitely go follow me over there. How do I? Oh my God, they just updated Snapchat now, so it's all over the place. So boom. So take a screenshot now and follow me over on Snapchat, guys. I Snapchat every single day. Same thing with Instagram. If you're not following me over on Instagram, definitely go follow me over there. I'm the Josh Speaks on both. So I don't know if it's blurry or not. The Josh Speaks on both. So just go check me out on both of those, Instagram and Snapchat. I post every single day, post daily stories. So that's a cheap, quick little plug I wanted to share with you guys. And plus, you can always DM me over there. Ask me anything you want, and I do my best to answer as many questions as I can. Let's jump into another one here. Let's take a sip of water. This is a good question. So A Gamer says, hey, Josh, would it be weird telling my crush I like her on Instagram? That's my only way. We've also never talked before, but I still think she likes me. Okay, so think about that for a second. So you've never talked before, but you think she likes you. So what is leading you to the conclusion? I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, I don't really talk to this person. I have them on Instagram. We don't interact, but maybe they like me. If you want to put that to the test, then it's on you to talk to them, right? So I do post my vegan meals, Kyla. That's something else I post on Snapchat. Guys, I post all my dinners every time I'm eating dinner and stuff. But yeah, side point. When it comes to talking to, you know, a girl on Instagram, a girl that you kind of don't really know that well, and that's your only opportunity. I've done a video on that, how to kind of slide into someone's DMs on Instagram. So check that video out. But ultimately, what I think it really comes down to is try to engage with her content, right? So if she posts something in her story, if she posts something, hey, Christina, what's up? If she posts something in her normal feed, comment on it, ask a question, share your opinion, be more interactive with what she posts. Because I think that's a good way to kind of show her that you're paying attention to her. And then from there, once you're interactive and she's responding back to you and on her comments and stuff like that, you can always shoot her a DM and try to take the conversation to a more private setting. And once you're in that private setting and once you guys are already talking, do your best. And this is where a lot of guys fail. So everyone listening, hear me out right now, because this is the key point that I want you to remember. Where most people fail when it comes to DMing their crush or someone that they like in general is that they keep the conversation bare bones and basic, meaning they stick to things like, hey, what's up? How are you? How was your day? Basic stuff. When you stick to basic stuff in a conversation, what you're essentially doing is you're putting it on the other person to carry the conversation, right? So if I say, hey, what's up to you, right? I'm asking you what's up, meaning I'm asking you to fill in the gap. Tell me something that's up. Tell me something that's interesting. So you're kind of pushing it back on them and saying, okay, you carry the conversation. And that's not what you want to do. You want to set a frame for the conversation and have the other person get involved in it. So a good way to set that frame is by asking a specific question about something. So I use the Black Panther movie, for example. Let's stick with the Black Panther movie. So let's say you were to DM your crush and say, hey, a lot of my friends are interested in the Black Panther movie and stuff, but I'm skeptical. I don't care about superhero movies. What do you think? Are you interested? Do you like superhero movies? By saying something like that, you're asking a very specific question, meaning you're leading the conversation. The conversation is about movies. So your crush may say, no, I don't care about superhero movies. I like Harry Potter. I like mystical, magical stuff rather than superhero. So let's say that's what your crush says. Then you can dive in and say, well, what other kind of movies do you like? When's the last time you went to the movies? You know, like, what's your favorite Disney movie? You can take it in a million directions, but you've created the frame of the conversation. So stay away from basic DMs, guys, because basic DMs are boring and they're an easy way for your message to get overlooked because no one cares. It's like, imagine I get 5 messages that say, hey, what's up? I'm going to pick one at random and answer, you know, like, that message doesn't stand out to me. So you want to make sure what you say stands out. Okay, so Miss Danny Tiger says, Josh, I'm very studious, but get very lonely. Everyone has a relationship but me. I want to focus on my studies, but I really want a relationship. How do I know I'm ready for one? That's a good question. How do you know if you're ready for a relationship? You know, balancing school and relationships can be kind of tricky sometimes. Depending on the grade you're in, depending on the level of work that you have. But I understand where you're coming from too. If you're a very studious person and you really focus on school, but hey, look, you know, you want someone to share your experiences with and to talk to and to just have fun with and to be fun and flirty with. I get that. I think the way to figure out whether or not you're ready for a relationship is to start small. So you don't need to jump into being a boyfriend, girlfriend type of setting. You don't need to jump into that. You could start off small by just having a few people that maybe you talk to and bounce things off of. And this is what I think too. It's like, if you're just starting out with the idea of dating or wanting to date, I would say talk to a lot of different people in the beginning, right? Some of them, as you're talking to them, will become friends. Some of them maybe will get closer. You'll figure out between 2 or 3 people, maybe I like one of them. Some of them you might not be interested in talking to after a while. But I would say expand your network. Try to talk to more people. Get yourself out there more. Talk to more people. Learn about more people. Interact with more people. And I think in that process, you'll start to see, hey, you know what? I found someone, one of these like 10 people, let's say, that I really connect with, that I really like. And in the process of talking to them over time, you'll feel that feeling whether or not you're ready for a relationship. You know, it's hard to say, are you ready? Is it a yes or no switch? Because it isn't really like that. It really is a matter of meeting people, seeing who you connect with. And when you find someone that you really, really do connect with on a deep level, that's when you should potentially pursue a relationship. Okay. So Neon, all right. So Neon Wave, thanks for revisiting this question here. He says, and he brought back Mr. Flash's question. If you're not really dating, then you shouldn't worry about being a better boyfriend if you aren't one. You should focus on trying to get her to hang out with get her to hang out, but respect your boundaries. Absolutely, and I think that's addressing the idea of liking someone that has a boyfriend, and I kind of tackled that in the early beginning, but it's an important one, guys. Okay, so Daniel Ferrero says, I want to take her out for Valentine's Day. I just don't know how to bring it up, but this is something I did want to address, guys. There are a lot of you out there who are like, I like someone, I want to ask them out for Valentine's Day, but I'm too nervous, I'm too scared, I've never talked to them before. What if they reject me? What if they don't like me? What if they're going with someone else? What if they just want to be single? All these what ifs pop into your mind. But here's the thing, guys. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Then you have Monday, and then you have Tuesday, and then Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is Wednesday, guys. You have 3 more days to put things into play. And here's what I would honestly suggest. If there's someone that you want to ask out for Valentine's Day that you've never talked to before, let's tackle that one first. You've never talked to them before. You just like them, and you're seeing Valentine's Day as the reason to make something happen. Don't wait until Valentine's Day to do it. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Fridays, from what I've learned, are generally one of the easier days to start conversations with people because Fridays are more laid back. People are getting ready for the weekend. They're really ready to chill out. So maybe they'll be more open to having a conversation and not so worried about like, oh, it's going to interfere with school, like paying attention in school. So use tomorrow, use that Friday as a way to just say hi to your crush, to say hi to her, ask her what her plans are for the weekend, and leave it at that. Focus on that. And girls too, all the girls out there, if you like a guy, don't sit back and wait for him to make the move or him to notice you. Start a conversation. Say hi and ask him what he's doing for the weekend. It's a simple thing. And just asking that is not meant to just like, oh, wow, I asked him how his weekend's going to go. We're going to go out for Valentine's Day. That's not what the purpose is. The purpose really is to plant the initial seed for the relationship that you want to build later on. So if you do that on Friday, you ask them about what they're doing for the weekend, you guys have a bit of chit chat, then you have Monday, then you have Tuesday. From there, on Monday, you can always say, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Do you have anyone to spend it with? Oh, we should spend it together, just so we can get to know each other better. That's how I think you can lead into it. Use Friday as an opportunity to just talk to them. Maybe you want to use Monday as an opportunity to follow up. Then Tuesday, you ask him for Valentine's Day. Don't wait until the actual day of Valentine's Day to do it. Because if you do, there's going to be a lot of pressure on her. And this is something I think is really important too. It's that if you're going to ask someone out on Valentine's Day, you're going to put an immense amount of pressure on them because Valentine's Day, the day itself, is filled with this idea of romance and love. So agreeing to spend Valentine's Day with someone on Valentine's Day may make that person feel nervous. They may feel like, like people are going to judge me or think about me. What do I do? But if you ask them out before, you ask them on Monday or Tuesday, there's less pressure because, like they have time to think about it. They have time to process it and really think, what, when Valentine's Day rolls around, I have my plans, I'm good. So don't wait until Valentine's Day, guys. Do it now. Do it now. Just do it. Whatever that Shia LaBeouf thing. How are you guys enjoying this? For those of you who are watching, hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. I think it's cool that we can all get together here and help each other out. I see other people answering. I see Neon Wave jumping in and sharing people's comments and people's answers to things. So thank you, Neon Wave, and all the people in here just asking questions, being part of the conversation, guys. I really do appreciate it. So let's jump into a few more questions. And then at 7 o'clock, I have an interesting, very, very interesting thing I want to share with you guys. So let's see. I like the stream. Thank you, Soda Pop. Anyone who hasn't, hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, let me know. Love and peace. Okay, you said you do it tomorrow. You said you do it tomorrow, so just do it. I got to do like a parody of that or something. Yeah, so Thomas Chaco, said, be yourself. If you're not funny, don't force jokes. They'll come naturally. The best funny moments comes when no one plants them. Yep. Awesome. Awesome advice. Okay. Next question. Ben 10 Cool Guy says, hey, Josh, I was wondering, how do I flirt with my crush without looking creepy? Please answer. I've been on the stream for an hour. Please, please. Thank you for being on the stream for an hour, man. I appreciate that. Or 45 minutes, really. But yeah, dude. So how do you kind of talk to someone without being creepy? That's a really good question, because I think a lot of people are afraid of looking weird and having their crush look at them like they're a weirdo. So how do you avoid that? I think there are two pieces to it, I would say. The first piece is really developing the self-confidence in yourself, like building that self-confidence that sets the groundwork. And then the second piece is, hey, Jonathan Rodriguez, don't say things like that, man. That's not cool. The second piece, after you've built that self-confidence level, is to figure out how to be more social and interactive with people. So the way to do that really is to build that self-confidence. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in the ability that you have to learn, to adapt, to grow, and to change. So what that means is that if you do make a mistake, if you do say something that's weird or awkward or anything like that, you're not going to let it define who you are. Too many people do that. Too many people allow the things that they say or the mistakes they make to define who they are. You have to recognize the mistakes are a natural part of life. So you're bound to make them. So if you walk up to your crush and like, you don't, like you stutter over your words or you blank out, you don't know what to say, it's not the end of you. Like too many people feel like those weird moments define who they are. It doesn't have to define you. You can look at them and say, you know what? I could have maybe done something better. That's okay. I'll revisit it. I'll retry again. So it's all good, Jonathan. But so, you'll tell yourself, I'm going to revisit it and try to fix that. So when it comes to interacting with your crush, you need to look at your behavior. You need to analyze. This is what I was talking about, the reflection piece before. You need to look at what you're doing and say, hey, when I talk to this person, are they looking away? Are they like looking around at other people? Are they kind of giving me short answers and like, yep, cool. Okay. Haha. And nothing else. If they're doing those type of things, then that means that they're not comfortable. And what you really want to focus on is building a sense of comfort around them, right? Comfort for them to feel open to sharing things with you. So the way to build comfort with someone, I think in that retrospect, is to first let them know that you're there to listen, you're there to hear them out, and you're curious about them. So that might mean asking more questions and stuff. A lot of times when guys come off as creepy, it's because they don't show a human side. They kind of just keep to themselves and they're like, hey, how are you? How are things? And there isn't a lot of human sharing there. There's a lot of like reservation. And when you are reserved, it makes the other person feel nervous. So you want to kind of let go of that reservation. And that's the social aspect of it. So the self-confidence level is recognizing you're going to make mistakes sometimes, and it's okay when you do. Try to reflect and learn from them. And the social aspect is to really pay attention to their behavior. Pay attention to what they're saying, what they're doing, how they're interacting back with you. I think if you focus on those two things, you'll figure out, hey, like I can talk to them, I can open up to them, and they're not going to see me as a creep. It's kind of a long-winded answer, but let's see what some of these other questions are. Okay, so A Gamer is back in the mix and said, hey, Josh, how can I survive my classes when I have no friends in any of them except one? I also want to note that each class is 90 minutes long, that I'm pretty much the third wheel. I hear what you're saying. So you're kind of by yourself in a lot of these classes. You have no friends, and you do in one class, but you're the third wheel in that. So here's the thing too. So if you're alone in your classes, this is something I learned going to a concert, right? So I don't know if you guys know who Kina Grannis is here on YouTube. She's a YouTube musician, one of my favorite musical artists. And I went to her concert once, and none of my friends really liked her. So I kind of went by myself. And I remember walking into the concert and I stood there, and it's like, I see all these people, tiny groups of people here and there. And I stood there by myself and I was like, man, this sucks. I'm at this concert all by myself. I don't know anyone. This is going to be weird. So I sat there and I thought about it, and I said, you know what? Hang on a second. All of us here are here for one reason, because we all like Kina Grannis, right? It's the only reason why someone would go to a Kina Grannis concert. So I'm like, there is something I have in common with every single person here. They all like Kina Grannis. So what did I do? I walked up to the group to my left and said, hey guys, so when did you start listening to King of Grannis? I had a conversation with them. Then when that conversation died, I walked to another group and I said, all right, guys, when did you start listening to King of Grannis? And that was an immediate way for me to kind of instantly start building relatability and a friendship with them. And the second group that I approached was this group of girls, and I became friends with them for that night. We rocked out to the music, we enjoyed it together, and we just had fun as a group. We were all there to enjoy something together. Now, how does that relate to real life and your situation is school? Well, think about it like this. When you're sitting in class, what do you have in common with all the other kids in your class? You're all there to take that class, to try to learn the move forward. So there's like, you have the ultimate opportunity to turn to the people around you and to say, hey, do you understand what's going on in the class? Hey, did you do the homework? Hey, how did did you figure this out? You can always turn to someone and talk about what you're doing in that class because everyone there has the same goal. So that's an easy way to kind of find a common ground with people around you, especially if you don't have any friends in there. You can instantly make friends just by connecting over the fact that you both are taking that class. Maybe the teacher's annoying. Maybe the work is hard. Maybe you can help each other out. There's a lot of different points that can bring you guys together, but I think that's how you can approach those type of situations. So I hope that answer was helpful. Taco Keto Play says, I got a Valentine's Day card for my crush. What should I put in it? Because I don't want to ask her out yet. Okay. So that's okay. Here's another thing too, guys. Just because you're getting someone something for Valentine's Day doesn't mean you have to ask them out on the spot. Valentine's Day could just be a chess move that you make. Like, hey, you move that pawn up. I move my rook. I move my horse. Is the horse the rook? I don't remember. Now, what is the horse? I don't remember. Anyway, the horse. You guys know what I'm talking about. The horse in chess. Like every piece can be a chess move there. So if you're gonna give your crush a gift for Valentine's Day, what you can always do is give her a gift, make her a card, write something punny in it. So by something punny, it could be something like what's a punny? What's a pun? I don't know. Here's what I would suggest. Google funny puns and just find an image, go to Google Images, find a funny pun, put that in a card because I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that could be a good way to just, a really good way to kind of just give her something to make her laugh, to make her smile. And if you're not ready to ask her out yet, that's okay. I do think though that should be on your plan, right? It shouldn't just be, I'm going to give her something and then let it be. It should be to give her a gift, give her something that can make her smile and laugh, and then really follow up with her. So be your knight in shining armor this Valentine's Day. Night. I always love when I look at the chat and there's conversations going on and I'm like, what did I miss? I missed like one or two comments that triggered all these other comments, people responding. But anyway, okay. Thought Patrol. That's an interesting name. So Thought Patrol wants to know, Josh, I'm going to go out with this girl I like on a double date to the movies. Awesome. I haven't met her parents though. Is this a problem? Also, the people we're going with are already dating. Is this bad? I don't think it's bad. I actually think that could work in your favor. That could actually be a good thing. And here's why. So this whole double date setting, it's like these two people are going out. You two are kind of going to see if you guys connect. You haven't met their parents. That's okay. If you're going out on a double date, then you're already pre-approved in some way by the friends, right? Like the couple that's going already accept you and they accept that other person. So you can go out on a date with someone. You could spend time getting to know them a little bit better. But let me take a step back, guys. When we talk about the word dating here, we talk about dating and what is a date. A lot of people interpret dating to be your boyfriend and girlfriend. I see dating as spending time with someone one-on-one to get to know them better, right? So it doesn't have to be purely romantic. It doesn't have to be because you totally like them. It could just be a one-on-one date. You two are going to hang out. You're going to get to know each other better, see if you guys connect. So you're going on this date, this double date with them to the movies and stuff, which is a fun date to go on. And it's going to be an opportunity for you to talk to this person, to learn a little bit more about them. Like I did a video a while back on whether going to the movies is a good or bad date idea. And I would ultimately lean on the side of good because I think it gives you something to talk about, right? Like you're going you're going to be around this person. You guys are going to watch this movie together, and then you could talk about the movie, you know? So that's something you can connect over, which is good. So I wouldn't worry so much about not having met their parents. That's something that can happen later on. You know, you hang out on this double date. Maybe next time you guys go out one-on-one, and that's when you meet the parents, or maybe in the third date or fourth date, or whenever you feel comfortable with it. But it sounds like you're in a good situation. It's not bad. I wouldn't overthink it or stress out about it. I think things will be okay. Guys, can you please wait your turn? This is literally every live stream. Yeah, Alan, I think you're pointing out something here. It's like, I think a lot of people are anxious. They want to get their questions answered, so they're either going to spam, which, guys, please don't spam the chat. I'm catching questions as I see them, so no need to spam the chat. It kind of just makes it messy, makes it harder for other people to kind of feel part of the chat. You know, they feel like, oh God, this person's just annoying everyone else and stuff. So don't do that. Tahin Dragon Knight says, do you recommend any online sites for buying flowers? I bought some today from Pro Flowers. So I don't really know many other flower sites other than 1-800-Flowers, but what I would recommend definitely is look them up, see what's local in your area. Sometimes local flowers are easier, but I don't know off the top of my head any specific flower sites. Pro Flowers is one, 1-800-Flowers, whatever works for you guys. But I said in my high school gift ideas video that I think flowers are a great idea. And the reason for that is because, you know, giving flowers, like, everyone appreciates flowers. There's no one that gets flowers that's like, oh, flowers. They're just a generally nice gift. You know, they make people feel good. So, you know, you don't lose from giving flowers. I would go with it. So Rel and Mellow Vivo says, hey, Josh, I really like this girl. We have lots of mutual friends in a class together. Also, I have a class with her older sister. What do I do? Okay, so it sounds like you have a connection to her, right? So if the older sister's in your class, then there's something that's linking you guys together, and you have mutual friends. So really like this girl. We have lots of mutual friends in a class together. Okay, so yeah. So I think it's like you have the connections to her. And the question is, are you utilizing those connections to get closer to her? So for example, you might want to ask the mutual friend to kind of set something up where the two of you can get together. Maybe your mutual friend says, hey, I want to go out to eat. I'm going to invite both of you guys so you guys can spend more time together. You know, like, talk to your friends, even though they're mutual, because sometimes though with mutual friends, they will go to the girl and they'll say, hey, he likes you. You know, that might happen. And if that does happen, it's not the end of the world. There's a way to handle that, so it works out. But I think you have the situation in your favor where you have mutual friends, you have a connection. Try to utilize them. Let them know what you want. Let them know what's going on. And hopefully they can bring you together, especially with the sister too, you know? Okay. Let's grab another question here. Okay, Isaac Marroquin says, if I ask a girl out, should I pick her up because I can't drive? Well, I think you kind of answered your own question. If you can't drive, then you can't pick her up. So what are your options? One of them is, if you can, ask your parents, or she asks her parents, or whoever can, an adult can drive you wherever you need to go. You know, like, parents, for the most part, are okay with the idea. If you tell them, hey, I like this girl, we want to go get food together, we want to go to the movies, would you be able to take us and pick us up? Parents generally are okay with it. They, you know, it's like they just want to make sure you're safe. So it's like, if you're letting them know what your plans are, they may be more open to the idea of helping you out. You know, I don't see why they wouldn't be. Another option is, if you can, maybe you could take public transportation of some sort. Maybe there's a bus, or maybe if you have a little bit of money saved up, you can maybe take a taxi or a cab or an Uber or something, whatever's in your area. Depending on how far you live, you might want to set up a date where you two go bike riding. So maybe you can bike to her. You know, I think you just have to be a little bit more creative than pretty much ruling everything out and saying, well, it's not possible because I have no way. Reach on people, ask your parents, see if you can take a car there, or, you know, get driven there, or anything like that. I think that's, yeah, just call Uber. Yeah, just call Uber, you know? Yep, I agree. No spamming. Hey, Lan Bubbly says, Josh, what do you love most about Miss Bubbly? I think that she is great. I love her videos. If you guys don't know Lan Bubbly, she does videos too, helping guys out. She has a lot of romance and dating advice. And she's all about just kind of helping guys get it, helping guys kind of connect better. which I think is cool. And, you know, she shares a lot of her own experiences, so definitely check her out. I'm going to be doing a collab with her soon. Wink, wink. So check her out too, guys. Okay, next question here. Oh, 7 o'clock. So I wanted to share what was going on here. I said I was doing it at 7. First order set. So here's what's up, guys. I just finished writing my book. For those of you that are following me over on Snapchat or Instagram, you probably have seen that I've posted from time to time the little progression of me writing chapters and things like that. But I just completed my book. And right now it's in the stage where it's the editing stage, right? Like I'm working with the team to kind of trim it down, make it succinct, design the cover and the insert and how we're going to share it and get it out there with the world. So that is something that I'm super excited to kind of learn. So that's something that I want you guys to know about. I wanted to share that because I think it's really cool. You know, like putting together a book. I know, you know, a lot of people say, well, I don't read books and stuff. My goal too is also to do an audio book and to do, you know, set it up for Kindle and all these different things. Because I know that different people have different ways of interpreting things and reading things and analyzing and digesting information. But the idea, I think, is that I want it to kind of compact a lot of the stuff I talk about here on the channel. And I feel like, you know, if you need something that you're on the way to school and maybe you want a boost of confidence, there's chapters on there you can read, kind of get that boost of confidence in the moment. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, definitely, like I said, follow me over on Snapchat or Instagram, shoot me a DM, let me know if you're interested in stuff. I'll give you guys all the details there. But Logan says, who the hell likes books? Cringy. It won't sell. Oh man, Logan, you just tearing me down. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, not everyone reads books. That's the thing too. Some people prefer podcasts and some people prefer audiobooks and things like that. So definitely going to translate it into lots of different forms, whatever works best for you guys. But yeah, that's the cool thing. I'm proud of it, pretty proud of it. I wanted to share with you guys. So Kyla Lovecat says, thank you to all the YouTube, thank you, again, all tongue-tied. Thank you to all you YouTubers who give advice to people about relationships and life. Thank you, Kyla. You know, I think it's important. It's like, we all have to be there for each other. And I think like, if we each have individual experiences in our lives, it's important to think, like I said before, reflect on those experiences and to see how we can help other people with them. You know, so it's like, if I dealt with being friend zoned and had my heart broken and battled with confidence and all these different things in high school, it's like, as I've grown and learned, I want to share that with people in high school who are maybe going through those same kind of issues and a little nervous about things. I feel like we always have to kind of help others along the way because it also helps us grow as individuals. So back to the questions though. Star Galactic Gamer says, I had a fight with my crush when we were at camp, but she doesn't hate me. She still glances at me from time to time and talks to me casually. Could I still ask her out? Can you help me, Josh? Okay, so you had a fight with your crush when you were at camp, and now but she doesn't hate you. She still glances at you from time to time and talks casually. So here's what I think. I think that, like, no matter who you are, friends, close friends, best friends, casual friends, there are going to be times where you're going to fight with people, and you may not always get along with them. You guys may not see eye to eye. So, you know, having arguments or disagreements are normal. These are normal things that happen. I think what's important to remember here is that if you do experience and you do have a fight with someone, it is important to think about what is it that you were trying to get across that maybe didn't come across clear to them. And you can always ask yourself, what can I say and how can I say it in a way that will actually make sense for them? So maybe in that moment, you got upset and you said something in a rude way and that wasn't the best way to deliver it. Or maybe the person you're talking to, or your friend from camp, felt insecure or unsure or nervous about something, and they didn't want to share that with you because they didn't want you to know they were nervous. So maybe they took a different route and responded rudely or passive aggressively or anything like that. And, you know, there wasn't clear communication. What I think it comes down to is this, is that if you have a fight with someone, but they still look at you and talk to you, I think it's like you have to ask yourself, is this a relationship you want to repair? In most cases, it's yes, especially if they're your friend. You want to repair it, you know? So you have to be able to put kind of your pride aside, and instead of saying, well, I'm angry at them, ask yourself, like, I want them to know that I care about them and I want to fix this. So you have to kind of reapproach them. I always think that if you're the one who comes to the realization that you want to change, you should move that forward and make that change. So I think in this case, Star Galactic, if you got into a fight or an argument with your crush at camp, approach your crush, talk to her, whether it's in person, if you can see her, or I don't know if you only see her at camp, whether it's online on Snapchat or Instagram, one of these other places. I think that's important. I think that's important if you really want to repair what you have there. Now, if they're your crush and you want to build it into something more in the future, well, then I think it's crucial. It's crucial to work on repairing it there. So George Gomez says, "Hey Josh, please answer my question. What if the girl wants a sexual relationship?" That's a good question, George. What if the girl wants a sexual relationship? I think it's important to ask yourself, how do you feel about that? I think there's this idea that, like, every guy wants a sexual relationship. So if a girl wants a sexual relationship, well, then that's normal. Everyone wants it, but that's not always true. Everyone is at different levels of understanding and everyone has different needs. Some people, maybe for yourself, George, you're not looking for a sexual relationship right now. Maybe you want to focus on school and you want to just get to know someone better. See if you can joke around and have someone to talk to. But let's say someone's coming to you and kind of pressuring you or putting you in a position where they want to take something sexual and you're not ready for that. Communication is going to be your best friend. Communication is going to be how you can relay that message to them and let them know that, hey, I'm not really ready for where we stand right now. What I really want to do is get to know you better. And then from there, we can see where things can go. Communicating that and just really sharing how you feel, I think will help them really see that, hey, maybe I'm putting too much pressure on the situation for this person. Maybe I'm coercing them and I didn't even realize it, So telling someone how you feel and what you want and what your steps are, like, hey, look, I'm okay with the idea of being sexual, but not right now. Maybe as we get to know each other better, maybe after we've gone on a few dates, maybe after we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we can enter that. Ask yourself what you feel comfortable with and work within that frame of mind, but you have to communicate that as well. Yeah, so Supreme Busta, Neon was sharing Supreme Busta's comment. He said, you can always ask her, but be calm about it and approach her in a way that won't make her feel uncomfortable. Yep, I agree, man. Let's see. So Celtrix says, it is not anything sexual, but it is something I feel inside. I've stopped masturbating since I felt like I started to love her. I used to do it 2 times a day, but I don't anymore. Okay, so let's cover that, guys, because I in the past I talked about the NoFap challenge and stuff, but I do want to talk more about this, and I know this makes some people feel uncomfortable, but we should probably talk about the idea of masturbating and all those things like that. So for him, it sounds like he stopped doing it once he felt like he started to love this girl. Now, I don't think you should tie masturbation to I like this person, I want to be with them, so I'm no longer going to masturbate. I don't think that those two should be hand in hand, because what you're really saying is your self-satisfaction, your self-sexual identity is tied to the idea of another person's decision of how they want to pursue you. Meaning, if that crush likes you or doesn't like you, your sexuality depends on what their response is, right? I don't think you should tie the two together. I think that, carry about your day and do what you want. But don't feel like you need to stop doing something or it's wrong to do something just because, you like someone or you're holding out for them. Don't connect the two there. I think it can get kind of tricky. Cringy. Oh my God. Oh, Logan. I like Logan. Logan Murray, man, you're funny. You're a fun guy. He's like the resident troll, I think, in the chat. Okay, let's see. So Neon Wave says, hey Josh, how can I ask my friend to hook me up with a friend of his? His friend is a girl and we've met before, although briefly. From what I've seen and what my friend told me, she's a cool person. So you want your friend to kind of hook you up with another friend of his. And I think that, so essentially where your friend lies is as the wingman, right? And I did a video on this idea of a wingman, and being the wingman's role essentially is to help create a situation where person A and person B feel comfortable, and that they can interact with each other, right? That's the wingman's kind of purpose, to kind of make everyone feel like, hey, it's cool that we're all here together, you know? So I would talk to your friend about that. Talk to your friend and say, hey, dude, do you think you can set something up where you invite both of us to hang out? Maybe your friend wants to set up something with a few people, maybe 3 or 4 people, and then you can talk individually to your crush when you're there. But have your friend be the bridge that kind of ties you together with that other person. I think if you can focus on doing that, then I think then it becomes easier for you to kind of get closer to them, you know? Now, it is possible for you to approach that girl and talk to her on your own, but I think if you have a friend that's a mutual friend of, you know, of both of you guys, then why not? You know, why not utilize the help, have him kind of bring you in? The idea isn't, your friend isn't there to go, hey, my friend likes you. That's not the purpose here. The purpose really is to kind of create a situation where, hey, we're all hanging out. You guys get to know each other, you know? That should be your friend's purpose. So watch the wingman video that I did. Share that with him if you want. But let him know that that's kind of what you're hoping for him to kind of bring you together. Let's see, YouTuber46 says, Josh, I replaced the strings of my guitar, but my 4F, I'll have no to that, man. Just the person wants to know, what if you're in a love triangle? That's a good question, just the person. Now, there's a few different types of love triangles. One type of love triangle is you like someone, they like someone else. That's kind of one aspect of a love triangle where it's like, I like them, but they like someone else. And how do I deal with this? Because my crush doesn't like me. They like another person. The best way to kind of manage those type of love triangles really is to kind of, I think, be forward with your crush. Even if your crush likes someone else, that doesn't mean that they can't develop feelings for you too, right? You just gotta kind of put yourself out there enough so that they really say like, hey, I like this person, but whoa, hey, this person's really cool too, and they're really fun to talk to, and I can really enjoy my time with them. So you want to create that dynamic. You want to stand out, and the best way to stand out is by really interacting with your crush, by talking to them more often, by flirting, by joking. If you're going to sit on the sidelines and say, well, they like someone else, I'm going to waste the time, I'm going to give up. Well, yeah, then it's not going to lead anywhere. Now, the other type of love triangle that people have talked to me about is when you're in the middle and you like 2 people and you're kind of caught between that and you're trying to figure out who to choose. These type of love triangles are a little bit trickier because a lot of times when people are trying to choose the person they want specifically to go after, they're kind of focusing on more arbitrary factors like who looks hotter, you know, who am I in a class with, you know, and all these things are important, but it's like, I think what you should really focus on is who do I connect with better, you know, because things like who's more attractive is important, but as time goes on, you're really going to want to be with someone that you really, really can connect with, someone you really, really share a deep bond with. And obviously you're attracted to them in the first place, right? Because you're in this love triangle. But I would say really try to figure out who you really enjoy your time with more. And the best way to do that is to hang out with each of them individually. Make plans to hang out with the first person, see how things go. Make plans to hang out with the second, see how things go. As you continue to do that, as you continue to get to know each one better, one person's going to kind of start to outweigh the other person. And that's how you'll start to see, well, I'm going to probably pursue them instead. Okay. What? It's so cringy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, I think Logan is just here to troll. There's no love triangles, bullshit. Sorry, I couldn't donate the stream. Want to make more cash? DeMarco, don't worry about it, guys. What DeMarco's referring to is the super chat function. So the super chat basically is a way to kind of just say like a thank you to creators, or, you know, to kind of just give a little donation and say, hey, I appreciate your work, and to ask a question. The way I kind of use it is that if you have a question that you really, really want to get ahead and like put front and center, you can always use the super chat, donate $1 or something, and then like it'll pop up, and as soon as I see that, I immediately will jump in and answer that question. So let's go into more questions here. But yeah, guys, like I said, you know, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. It's Wednesday, but as close as it is, you know, you still have a little bit more time. You got Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, guys. 3 days to still do something, to still start a conversation with your crush. Don't try to build everything around like Valentine's Day as your make or break moment to ask her out. It doesn't have to be. You can just use Valentine's Day as a way to, Logan. Yeah. I leave it to your discretion, DeMarco. If you want to put them on timeout or something, put them on timeout. Leave it to your discretion. Figure out what you think the best way to handle him is. I don't know. All right. Evil Max says, sorry, something went wrong. A team of highly trained monkeys has been dispatched. If you see them, send them information. That's funny. Yeah, I love that little monkey thing that YouTube has. But okay, so back to the questions, guys. Take a sip of water. Oh, Logan. Okay, so the next stream, we got to study for midterm. Okay, Miss Danny Tiger, thank you for jumping in. So she's going to head off to go study for a midterm, which totally get, right? School has to come first before YouTube. So Felix the Beast asked, what are some tips if you're in a long distance relationship? So I kind of touched on long distance relationships earlier. And basically my basic advice is this: if you're in a long distance relationship, you have to find ways to communicate with each other and to still maintain the level of honesty and openness. Because what can happen sometimes in long distance relationships when you're seeing someone at a distance is that you may want to avoid expressing how you feel, because if it turns into a fight, well, you don't want to fight because this person's long distance. What if you guys don't talk again for a while? You don't want the last thing to be a fight. So people tend to hold things back and are not open all the time. I think it's important to really share how you feel with that person, but also to be respectful of their space. Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you're going to have a lot less time to spend talking to the person. Like, you're not going to be on the phone 24/7 with that person. You know, they have their own life. They have work and school and all these other things going on. So you have to be respectful of their time and say, hey, they're not going to be able to talk to me as long as I want every single day. And that's okay. And then on the other side, it's like, if you don't talk enough, or you don't communicate enough, or you don't have anything where you guys really share your lives with each other, be open about that. Talk about that. Don't hide it, you know? Let's see. Do you think you can make a Discord server? I think I might make a Discord server. A lot of people have been asking me to do that, so I might set one up. So Mikalash Cage says, marching band made me want to kill myself. I'm sorry to hear that. You want to elaborate, tell me what happened, and maybe I can share some advice or I can help you out. What did they say? What did they do? Okay, Mr. Rhinosaur. I'm trying to pronounce it like it's a real dinosaur. Rhinosaur said, I've been friends with a girl for 4 years now, and I really like her for the last 3. She had a boyfriend for 11 months and broke up with him last month. We started talking again, and I still like her. How should I go about it? All right, so you're friends with a girl for 4 years, and you've liked her for the last 3. She had a boyfriend, and she broke up with him, and you started talking again. Okay. So she's single. You've known her for a long enough time. And here's the thing too. Now, if you've known someone for a long enough time, but you've never built any kind of romance with them, it's easier for them to start to feel like they only view you as a friend. You know, like, it's only natural for that to happen because they've known you for so long. It's like, well, I've known them. No one's ever made a move. He never made a move. I never made a move. We're friends, right? It's a default. It kind of falls into the default. But now that she broke up with her boyfriend that she was with for almost a year at this point, you're like, hey, now I want to step forward and approach her. And I think it's possible to do that. It might be a little difficult because, like I said, the friend zone issue. But here's how I would suggest you go about doing that. I think what you can try doing is this. I would suggest when you talk to her, right? Talk to her as if there's something new in the air. There's a new kind of feeling that you're experiencing, and display that when you talk to her. So for example, when you're talking to her, you might look at her and say, you know, there's something different about you. I don't really know what it is, but there's something different about you. And I really want to explore that more. You know, by saying that, by solidifying that you recognize that there's something that stands out about her, you're almost insinuating that you kind of, you know, like, she's not just the typical friend that you've known for the last 4 years. There's something new, and you're excited and you're intrigued and you're curious about that. So that's what you want to convey to her. I think, you know, you want her to see like, wow, he's looking at me differently. Maybe something is different, you know? So I would say take that kind of approach when you talk to her. And then from that point on, you should be flirting with her. You should be joking with her. You should be trying to ask her to hang out one-on-one so you guys can spend that time together. I think that is super important to help you guys kind of really elevate it from just being friends to being something more. So let's see. So yeah, so A Gamer says, Josh, can you make a Discord? It would give us a chance to talk to each other outside of streams. Yeah, I mean, currently I use Snapchat and Instagram to talk to people. So a Discord server I think would be cool to get people to just communicate with each other. So I'm going to set that up. YouTuber 46 has an interesting question. How do I ask a girl on a date Valentine's Day stuff with not being able to do stuff on school nights? Yeah, this is something that I didn't address really in my videos and stuff, but this is crucial. If you're trying to set up a date night, how do you do that on a school night, right? Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday. It's smack dab in the middle of the week. You know, it's not even like it was like a Friday or something like that. Wednesday's a school night. So what do you do? Well, what I would try to do is this. It's possible that you can maybe do something after school, maybe for an hour after school, and then go home, talk to your parents, see what they're okay with. Or if you're going to do any kind of Valentine's Day things, focus on doing it in the middle of the school day at that point. Because if you can do something for lunch, or you can do something early in the day, or maybe at the end of the school day, that might be your only opportunity to give that person a gift. And maybe if you can't go out on a date, maybe you can talk to them and set up a date, not on Valentine's Day, but maybe for the Friday after Valentine's Day. You know, let Valentine's Day be the opportunity for you to express a level of interest in them. But say, hey, look, I really like you. I want to spend time. I want to get to know you better. I want to get to know you better. Let's hang out. Let's do it on Friday, because probably neither of us can hang out on a school night, you know? So you do have to kind of work around that. That is a good question. It's a very good question, but that's what I would suggest. Let's see. Mr. Rhinosaur. I keep saying I want to say rhinosaur, but tongue twister. Not even a tongue twister. Just a Josh twister. Okay, thanks. I asked her out once a few years back, but back then she was interested in the guy she went out with. And then they ended up going out, but all the way through, I've liked her. Yeah, I hear where you're coming from on that, man. I totally get where you're coming from. You know, he kind of just was the guy that she was interested in. Now that they're broken up, though, things are different. I think you have a different opportunity in front of you. See, Kyla Love Cat says, making something for your Valentine or getting her flowers is the sweetest thing you can do. But my boyfriend also got me a necklace with my favorite gemstone. That's also lovely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, especially for those of you that are in relationships or have boyfriends or girlfriends, you know, like Kyla said there, you know, flowers and something, making something, are like, those are the coolest things. You know, they're sweet gifts. They're just, like I said, everyone loves flowers. No one looks at flowers and goes, flowers. You know, it's like cool. Yeah, flowers are good. They're nice. They're pretty. They smell good. They're good things. And then her boyfriend went over the top here. You know, like A+ boyfriend over here got her necklace with the gemstone. You know, that's awesome. That's super cool. You know, so guys, like, take notes, man. If you're in a relationship, those are things you can do. Also, Mr. Rhinosaurus follow up, but the problem is her boyfriend cheated on her and wanted her to see that I can treat her. I want her to see that I could treat her better. Here you coming from there. Like I said, that's a new one, Josh Twister. When I personally get tongue tied over it, no one else does, only me for some reason. But yeah, yeah, I hear you coming from, Mr. Rhinosaur. It's like, you know, you want to show her that you're different from this guy. I think the best way to show her you're different from this guy is to not even include him in the conversation. Your focus should be on you and her. It has nothing to do with him. Don't say like, I'm better than him. I'm not going to be like him. He is not even part of the equation. What's part of the equation is that you see something different in her and you want to explore that because it's real and it's intense and there's something that's drawing you to her. You want to convey that, you know? Let's see. Nike Just Do It says, I want to ask this girl out for Valentine's Day and I think she likes me. I don't know how to ask her though. That's a good question. You know, you like this girl, you want to ask her out, but you don't know how to ask her. Well, I mean, I have a few videos on asking people out for Valentine's Day. But I think the general thing here really comes down to this. It's that if you want to ask this girl out, like I said, you have 3 days to do it. You have Friday, you have Monday, you have Tuesday, 3 days to act on it. And I think where you take it from there is you can really, really buckle down and use these 3 days to start talking to her, to converse with her, to share that kind of conversation with her. If you're able to focus on doing that, then I think it's way, way easier for you to eventually ask her out when Valentine's Day rolls around. So for example, if you just say, hi, hey, what's up? What are your plans for the weekend on Friday? Then on Monday, it's like, oh, cool. What'd you do this weekend? Oh, cool. You got any plans for Valentine's Day? You doing anything fun? Find out from there. If she says, no, I'm not sure, be like, oh, cool. Maybe if both of us are free, maybe we'll hang out sometime. Tuesday rolls along. You talk to her again. You communicate. Wednesday rolls along. What are you doing later? How about we go out, just you and me, for Valentine's Day? Let's just celebrate together. That's how you can kind of lead in, but it has to start with you talking to her. Don't sit on the sidelines and wait and say, like, I don't know if she likes me. I'm not sure how she feels about me. Give her a reason to like you. And the best way to do that is to approach her and talk to her. So Mr. Rhinosaur, follow up again. Should I bother trying to do anything with Valentine's Day with her, or just let it pass and see how our relationship develops? That's a good question. That's a tough question because I'm not really sure. On one end, I would say, yes, you should do something with her, because the reason why I think you should do something with her is because it's an opportunity for you two to really just hang out, spend time together. And the reason why I would say maybe no is because she may not feel ready just yet. So she may be like, oh no, I'm not ready for that just yet. Honestly, I would play it somewhere in the middle. And somewhere in the middle is maybe create something small for her, a card with a funny message in it, maybe some candy, maybe something simple. Give it to her and say, hey, just I was thinking about you today. I wanted to get you something. That's it. Keep it simple and keep on working towards building the relationship. Okay. Next question here. So Christopher Artelejo. Christopher Artelejo says, since Valentine's Day is around the corner, I was thinking if I should ask my crush if she has Snap or Insta. If she says yes, should I text her over the weekend to get closer? Should I get flowers on Monday? Good question. So yes, you should find out if she has Snap or Instagram. Use that as an opportunity to communicate with her over the weekend. Now, I keep saying you have 3 days, but realistically, you have 5 days. You have Saturday and Sunday. And those are times that you can talk to them on the weekend. So make the most of it. Ask her. And use the weekend here. Play it by ear, because I would say talk to her and see how she interacts. Try flirting and joking around with her. If she's flirty back and she jokes around back with you, then get her flowers on Monday, or get her flowers for Valentine's Day. Like I would say maybe get them for Valentine's Day rather than Monday. Use those 2 Monday and Tuesdays, 2 more days to kind of still connect with her. But I would focus on that. But dude, don't totally go for it. Christina says, I know I can treat you better than he can, and any girl like you deserves a gentleman. So tell me why you be wasting time. Why are you wasting time when you can be with me instead? Yeah, I hear where you're coming from on that. Like, I think some people maybe are in relationships that aren't the best for them. They're with a partner maybe that doesn't appreciate them, or isn't understanding of them, or isn't caring towards them. But I think in those cases, it's like if you're on the sidelines and you're witnessing that, a lot of times people see like, wow, that they're just not in a good relationship. Why are they together? You might feel this urge inside of you to want to like scream out and say like, break up with them, go out with me, I'll treat you better. But that doesn't always work out like it does in the movies, right? Like in the movies, it's like, oh, the best friend all along. Who knew that they were going to end up with the best friend? I think it's important sometimes to be mindful of where the person is. Maybe they don't understand that they're in a bad situation or in a bad relationship, and they need time to kind of process that and work through it. So I saw, please do mine. You asked, DeMarco says, my love is for track and field. Season starts on Valentine's Day. Logan Murray, why do you keep saying cringe? I don't understand. Why stay in the chat and why comment if you're just going to write cringe? What, do you not have something better to do with your time? I don't understand. So I'm retarded says, please give me tips on how to talk to your crush. Simple. I think when it comes to talking to your crush, focus on 3 simple rules. Make eye contact. Uh-oh. That's like the Mr. Rogers thing where he gives them a middle finger and stuff, and then they screen capped it. Make eye contact. Make eye contact. Smile and say hello. Those are the 3 key tips I think you should focus on when it comes to talking to your crush. A lot of people are like, how do I approach them? What do I do? What do I say? If you can master those 3 steps, eye contact, smiling, saying hello, then it becomes significantly easier to approach them, to talk to them, to start a conversation. Let's see. So DeMarco said, my love is for track and field. Season starts on Valentine's Day. Hey, DeMarco. Sometimes, you know, school life chooses you. You don't choose the school life, man. I hear you on that. So I'm reading through some of these now. It's my crush's birthday tomorrow. We have a class together. What should I do? James Howard wants to know. If it's your crush's birthday, then I think the best thing to do is, I mean, you could still follow these Valentine's Day tips where it's like, make her a card, make her something and say, hey, I just wanted to give you a card because it's your birthday and stuff. You know, you're a cool person. I want to get this for you. And that's it. You know, you don't need to kind of go into, and I was thinking and I just figured I made it, but I don't know if you like it. You don't need to go into that. Just be confident in it. Say, I made you something because it's your birthday. You're a cool person. I wanted to get this for you. That's it. You know, that's confidence, bold. I'd say go for that. But, you know, I know that there's a lot of questions that I didn't answer here. I'm going to pop this up again here. For those of you guys that I have not answered your questions, or maybe I've skipped over them, add me out over on Snapchat as you dab on them haters. And add me on Snapchat and ask your questions there. Like Kyla Love Cats was saying before, I post my meals, all the different vegan dinners that I eat all the time. I post motivational quotes every single day. I kind of post a quote from this calendar, right? And I post a daily goal to go along with it. So I'm posting cool stuff over there on Snapchat. It's a lot of fun. I post a lot of figures from my action figure collection, and just fun. We have a lot of fun Snapchat people, and I do my best to answer everyone's messages. Same thing with Instagram. I'm going to pop up. I'm the Josh Speaks over on Instagram, guys. Go follow me over there if you're not following me already. And yeah, go see. I post those stuff over there too. Back to the questions. So I hope Josh, you and your shameless plugs. There's nothing shameless about these plugs. These are intentional. Every half hour mark, I'm like, 7 o'clock, 7:30. Let me talk about something. Toy unboxing. I should do a toy unboxing. That'd be a lot of fun. There are a few action figures that I'm planning on ordering. But yeah, I guess I'll do an unboxing of them. Yes, that's a great question. That's a great idea, Kyla. I'm going to do an unboxing, a live stream unboxing when I order these 3 figures that I'm really looking forward to. Okay. Back to questions. But guys, I hope this is helpful so far. All the things we've talked about, I hope whether they're helpful for relationships, for Valentine's Day, for just feeling like you have a little bit more control over your life. I hope this is I hope there's something you're taking away from it. If you are, hit the thumbs up button here. Let me know on the live stream here as you're watching it. You know, leave it in the chat there. Let me know, guys, because I want to do more of these. I set a goal for 2018 where I was going to do 1 a month, but I really feel like I want to do 1 a week. Maybe not a 2-hour one a week, but maybe a half an hour one every single week. We'll see what happens, but maybe I'll do that half an hour a week. Maybe every Wednesday, something like that. I don't know. Either way, I love this live stream format. Love talking to you guys. Yeah, back to the questions. So Owen Starling wants to know, what do I do if my crush is already in a relationship? It's a good question, Owen. If your crush is already in a relationship, my personal philosophy is you should be respectful of other people's relationships. Don't ever try to be a homewrecker. Don't ever try to infiltrate or ruin what other people have going for them. Be respectful. That doesn't mean that you can't joke around or talk to or flirt or interact with the person that you like. It just means that you shouldn't try to ask them out or be so flirty that you're touching them or trying to kiss them or anything like that. But keep communication going. And if they do break up, that's your chance to step in. And because you've been communicating all that time that they've been dating, you know, you're not going in completely cold. You're going in with some type of a relationship, a background to it, you know? Bane the Dwayne. That's a fun name. How do you build up the confidence to kiss your crush on Valentine's Day? That's a good question, Bane. So, Leanne Bubbly was in here earlier. She's also a YouTuber if you guys want to check her out. She does dating advice videos and helping guys build confidence. Recently she did a video on how to deal with being alone and not really having a lot of friends, kind of being a lone wolf. She has a lone wolf thing series that she's trying to put together. I think it's awesome. And me and her are going to do a video here on the channel about how to go for a kiss, how to kiss the girl. You know, we're going to cover that kissing topic. But ultimately, what I would suggest is this. I think that if you want to go for the kiss on Valentine's Day, you need to ask yourself, where do you stand with that girl? Are you guys close? Are you guys, have you guys ever hung out one-on-one before? Do you know, like, how would she feel if you went in for that kiss? You know, what's your relationship with her? It's important to look at that. And, you know, if you guys are at that beginning stage where she doesn't really know you, then I wouldn't go for the kiss. If you guys are in the later stage where it's like you guys are hanging out one-on-one, the vibe is just there, then yeah, Valentine's Day may be the perfect time to go for the kiss. Now, how you go for the kiss, I'm going to explain that in the video with Leia and Bubbly when we put it up. Just follow it on Insta. Awesome, Christopher. I'll catch you over there. Hey, it's me, Edwin from Snap earlier. Can you please explain? Yeah, I mean, I'm not reading messages now, but I will check them out later, guys. And if you're interested, usually after this dude, I swear. I know. Thank you, DeMarco, for muting him. If it's like, if he just keeps it up, then maybe it's just kick him out, I guess. If whatever you can do with that, because I don't know why he's doing that. But what I usually do is after this live stream, I'm gonna jump over on Instagram and do a Instagram live stream over there. It's kind of like a post stream show. So if you guys want to be part of that post stream show, it's only like maybe 10, 15 minutes after. But it's a lot of fun. I love doing a post stream show too. Jeffrey wants to know, why does Josh hate me so much? I don't hate you, Jeffrey. Did I miss your question? I'm scrolling up here. Okay, Jeffrey, I got your question. What do I do if my crush isn't allowed to date? It's a good question, Jeffrey. I get that question a lot. Hide him from the video. Yeah, maybe hide him. I don't know why he's being weird. But so what do you do if your crush is not allowed to date? I think when you're in that type of situation, the best thing you can do is utilize the time. Does your wife like YouTube channel? Yes, she loves it. She also teaches she teaches a course on mindfulness and meditation and self-compassion. So we're both in that field of trying to help people. But back to the crush not being able to date. If your crush is not able to date, I think what you should focus on instead is just building a closer relationship with her. That may mean focusing on just a friendship for now. So sometimes parents are like, no, you're not allowed to date until you're 17, 18 years old, until you're 16, whatever it is. You know, parents have different rules, and it's important to respect those rules. You know, you shouldn't try to go behind their backs and everything like that. But I think what you can try doing is, in the meantime, just really try to communicate more. Communicate more with them. Let them know that, hold on. There we go. So Neon Wave, I made you a moderator for the channel, man, because I see you and DeMarco, you guys are kind of like being involved, answering, helping out. So I appreciate it, Neon Wave. Thanks for jumping in and keeping the conversation going. But yeah, so focus on that friendship. That's essentially what I was saying for now. And then when they are able to date, that's when you can kind of elevate things. I kind of answered that question sporadically. So Adrian Tapia says, so there's this girl, I wanted to bring something for Valentine's Day, and she already has someone bringing her something. So what do I do? P.S. She just broke up like a month ago. Okay. So just because someone else is giving her something doesn't mean you can't give her something. Here's where you're going to stand out versus that other person. Instead of just giving her a gift like that other person's probably going to do, oh, here, I got you something. You're going to give her a gift, right? You're going to give her a creative gift. So you can go watch my gift idea videos that I just put up this week. Give her a creative gift, and then you're going to ask her to hang out. The other person's not going to do that. The other person's just going to give her a gift and be like, back off. You're going to stand out because you're going to ask her to hang out too. You're going to say, hey, I got you this gift and stuff, but I was wondering, what are you doing later today? Maybe we can go get something after school, get something to eat after school. So stand out by being different. Stand out by actually, you know, like making yourself stand out. That's really what it comes down to. But I feel important all of a sudden. You are important, Neon. I see you answering people's questions. You know, you and DeMarco kind of are helping out. You're kind of directing people. So you too, man. You too. I really appreciate you guys in here helping out, being a part of the live stream. Let's see. Kyla said, whoa, nice, Neon Wave. Let's clap it up, Neon Wave. Good job. Okay, so Adrian Tappa, Oh, wait, did I answer this one? I wanted to ask her on a date, but what if she doesn't like me? Oh, that's a separate one. So you want to ask a girl out, but what if she doesn't like you? So when you say you're not sure whether or not she likes you, you kind of have to break that idea down a little bit more. Does she not like you because she rejected you in the past? Does she not like you in the sense where, sorry, does she not like you in the sense where you feel like because you've never talked to her, she's had no reason to like you? Where does it really stand? I think if it's just a matter of you haven't talked to her and you don't know if she likes you, well, then that shouldn't be enough to hold you back. You could still approach her and still talk to her and ask her out. Let's see. Fire Neptune says, how to ask a girl out on Instagram. Also, she doesn't go to my school anymore. So I did a video on this in the past too. How to ask someone out if they're not in your school, you never see them around. It can be tough. It can be tough to date someone from another school, especially if you're in, let's say, middle school or high school, because you might not have the opportunity to travel to go see them, and you might only be able to talk to them online, which makes things a little bit more difficult. But that's how you would maintain that relationship. That's how you'd build a relationship. So if you want to ask a girl out on Instagram, I would think realistically about how you guys would maintain a relationship. Is it possible? Is she someone that you could potentially meet up with and see in person? Those are questions you got to ask. Let's see. Galactic Boomflyer says, Josh, I don't even know what to say. Dude, it's my first Valentine's Day dance, and I really haven't spoken to a girl yet. So I haven't talked about Valentine's Day dances. I know there's a lot of schools and a lot of people that are having Valentine's Day dances. And I haven't touched on that topic just yet. I think when it comes to Valentine's Day dances or, like a school event of some sort, and you've never talked to your crush, you never asked her out to a dance before, my philosophy with dances is that you always want to try to spend time with the person one-on-one before you ask them or spend time with them at the dance. Meaning, if there's a girl that you're going to ask to the dance, let's say the dance is on Valentine's Day on Wednesday, talk to her on Monday and try to spend time, whether it's 15, 20 minutes at lunch, just talking to each other. Maybe it's 25 minutes after school one day. Spend one-on-one time first before that dance comes up. Because if your first time alone is going to be at the dance, there's going to be a lot of pressure built on you. There's pressure because you're both going to be all dressed up. There's pressure because everything is going to be fancy. So it becomes a lot harder to just be casual and be calm around each other. So if you could spend 10, 15 minutes on a day before the dance, when you're in your normal clothes, everything's very calm and normal, it's a lot easier to move into the dance setting and have it not be as weird. But yeah, you're nervous, dude. I get you, man. It's like, this is not an easy thing to do. It's like there are some nervous feelings that can really come up in these situations. But take those small steps, man. Maybe the first step is in talking to her, just make it your goal to learn a little bit more about what she likes to do for fun. What are her hobbies and her interests? Does she love listening to music? What musical artist? Does she love to play a sport or video games or draw or anything like that? Find out what it is, Hey, Josh, what do you think the saddest song is? A Gamer wants to know. I think the saddest song is Hello, Darkness, my old friend. You've come to visit me again. I think that's the saddest song, right? It's a sad song. Cool, we like the same music. I know that. Yep, Galactic Boomflyer, man. That's it, man. You're on it. Like, if you know what type of music she likes and you guys like the same music, talk about that. That's your in, man. That's your in. Let's see. Patriotic Pluto says, hey, Josh, there's this girl at my school who always gives me side looks as I walk by. Does she like me? So I've talked about this a little earlier, and this is a challenge here because, when you look at things like that, where it's like, oh, this girl looks at me, she gives me the side eye, she plays with her hair, she smiles, she whispers. We can look at all these little actions and we could try to analyze them and try to figure out what they mean, but you'll never really know what they mean, right? Until you actually approach that girl and talk to her. Until you do that, you're always going to be left wondering. So instead of trying to figure out and analyze and play detective, really just be forward with it. Approach her, talk to her, say, hey, what's up? What do you like to do for fun? Just get to know her better, because if she's willing to spend that one-on-one time talking to you, then it's a little bit more obvious that she's interested. Oh, who said, please answer me? I missed that. Supreme Busta. Okay, Supreme Busta, I caught your question here. I'm not trying to spam, but need your advice. I like this girl at school and I think she might like me. She's always trying to start a conversation or gives me a high five, catching her looking at me though. So yeah, I think that ties into what I was just saying earlier, where it's like, you know, you're trying to figure out, you're trying to analyze where she stands and how she feels, but you don't really know. And I think the way to really find out at the end of the day is you have to talk to her, you have to approach her, you have to turn it into something. Because if you're just going to sit around and wait and wish and hope and that's your strategy, man, it's not going to work out for you. Mr. Inventor says, hey Josh, I'm wondering how I could find out if a girl likes me through her friends or her without making it too obvious. Yes. So this also building on the last point that we just talked about, kind of discreetly finding out, like if I ask her friends, maybe they'll tell me where she stands. It's possible. Look, going through friends is always possible. Now, here's the challenge with going through a girl's friends. If you ask her friends, hey, does so-and-so like me? What do you think those friends are going to do? Those friends are going to go right to her and say, hey, this guy likes you. That's what they're going to do. Now, that can work in your favor and you can navigate that situation, but are you prepared for that? That's what you have to ask. I think if you're too nervous around her to talk to her yourself, then I don't think you should kind of rely on her friends to do that work for you. You should work on getting more comfortable talking to her, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to talk to her if you want to pursue her. So RG Tricks says, please answer me. Did I miss RG Tricks? Read mine, please. Let's see. Okay, RG Tricks, I got you here. Should I answer y'all's question? Yeah, guys, if I miss your question and you kind of see that I'm already on other people, DeMarco's there, Neon Wolf, they're there to kind of just share their thoughts and their opinions. Super helpful, guys. So Neon Wolf, I said Neon Wolf, Neon Wave, and DeMarco. So RG Tricks, hey there. Hey, there's a girl at school that I like, and I've known her, and I talked to her on Instagram. And when she sees me at school, she calls me out of nowhere. It smiles at me, but I'm scared to ask her out. Okay, so we're back on the same level of thought, where it's like, boom, you like a girl, you don't really know how to interpret her actions, what she's doing. Does she like you back? Does she not like you back? Is she just joking around? Is she being friendly? The only way you guys are really gonna find out, listen to me here. The only way you're gonna find out is by talking to her, is by approaching her, is by building something with her. So you have to do that. You have to take that and go forward. Don't just sit on the sidelines and wait. Okay, Mikolash Cage, host of the Meme Mar, says, my best friend is smart and already going to college. How to confess my feelings when I'm a loser high school dropout. So I wouldn't call yourself a loser high school dropout. Just because you dropped out of high school doesn't make you a loser. Like, losers essentially are people who give up, that they stop trying. Just because you dropped out of high school doesn't automatically make you a loser if you drop out of high school and you choose to pursue something else. You're only a loser if you just completely give up on everything. If you're still moving forward, man, and you're just finding your own path, high school is not for everyone. College is not for everyone. If you're finding your own path, that doesn't make you a loser. So I wanted to clarify that first. But your best friend is smart and going to college. So you want to confess your feelings to them, but you probably, I'm assuming where you're getting at is you feel like you guys are on separate levels. You're not on equal playing fields. Maybe to some degree you feel like, oh, they're going to feel like I'm a loser. They're so much smarter than me, so we can't connect with each other, which isn't true. However, we run into this issue where confessing your feelings to someone who's going to be in a college separate from where you are can be difficult, because when people generally go to college, they're there to experience new things. So it's going to be hard to start a relationship with someone who's going to a different college when you haven't really built that relationship element there before. I think you need to ask yourself, how much time do you really have before they go to college, before you stop really interacting with them? And in that time, that's where you have to really, really double down on talking to them, flirting with them, asking them to hang out, really building something. So let's see. So Mr. Rhinosaur said, to unfold tomorrow night, should I tell her in person or just on FaceTime casually like we've been talking? I think you should tell her in person. I feel like saying it in person carries 100 times more weight. Because think about it. It's like if you text someone and say, hey, there's something different about you. I don't know what it is, but it's a cool thing. I want to explore that. It doesn't carry the same amount of weight in text than if you were to do it face to face and you were to look at her and be like, huh, there's something interesting about you. I don't know what it is. You know, you can flirt, you can smile, you can do all these different things that kind of really demonstrate that you're really seeing her in a whole new light. So DeMarco said, I have had social anxiety before. So if you have a question on anxiety, hit me up. Yep. Guys, jump to DeMarco. DeMarco, you know, had I don't even know the word I'm going to use. He has had an interesting life so far, and he's dealt with a lot, and he has a lot of experience working through his own situation. So guys, DeMarco's got advice for you too. We got 10 minutes on this stream, guys. I want you to just power out the questions now. Let's get them going in the chat. Let's try to get through as many as we can. Let's see. There's more than that, just that part. Oh, I must have missed it, Mr. Rhino. If you can retype it, I'll try to pick it from there. Cheetos and papayas. Let's get your question. There's this girl I like, but she ignores me when her friends are around. But when we are alone, talking, she is more open. Okay. So there's this girl that ignores you when her friends are around, but when you're alone, they talk. Okay, I get where you're coming from here. I think what happens is that her friends kind of carry her attention. And then when her friends aren't there, you're there and she jumps to you. So she doesn't really pay attention to you when they're around. I think part of the reason is because she probably sees that there's two elements to her. There's her around her friends and there's her around you. And her personality is probably slightly different for both of them. So she doesn't feel like she can have the two together. Now, how do you resolve that? I think the way to resolve that is if you can start getting closer to her friends, then it's easier for her to bring both worlds together. Because right now, those two worlds aren't together. They're separate. So sorry about that. So if you want to bring them together, you really need to get to know her friends better. I think that's the key. Sorry about that. It's my oatmeal I had earlier. I'm talking so much, so my audio is going wonky. Oh, that's not good. Is my audio wonky for anyone else? Hope it's not wonky for anyone else. Can you play sad song? I don't know if I can play a sad song. I can sing a sad song. Let's see. Neon Wave shared, be yourself. Act as if it's your current school. You can do it. Don't worry about what others think. Yeah, agree with you on that, man. So, okay, Mr. Rhino followed up and said, I've been talking to her on FaceTime a lot in the last 2 weeks, and she asked me a lot of questions tonight just texting. I was honest, but I feel like things are going to unfold tomorrow night. I mean, look, I would recommend you do it in person, but if you can do it through text and you can make it work, dude, go for it. You know, like really whatever works best for you. Sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, so Sick Drummer said, my best friend that is a girl wants to dance and slow dance with this guy. I want to help her get closer to this guy at the dance. So so is there could be a possibility they could dance? How can I help? Okay, so Sick Drummer, you want to help your friend get closer to this guy. I think the way to be kind of a wingman essentially here to bring them together is you can probably go talk to this guy and approach him and be like, hey, dude, what's up? How you doing, man? Like, oh, have you met my friend before? She's really cool. She's a really fun girl. You got to get to know her. I think it becomes your job to kind of hype her up in a way, kind of make him look at her and go, wow, this guy has a lot of good things to say about you. So you might want to like share a funny story between you and that happened between you and your friend with the guy. Like, oh, me and her, like, you won't believe she's just such a kind-hearted person and she does this, but she's got a really fun side to her. You got to meet her. You got to share, I think, a little bit about your experience with her and why she's awesome to him so that he can also see why she's awesome as well. Okay. So Dominic Kahn says, would it be okay to get chicks with a weird humor? I think it's totally fine to get chicks with a weird humor. Like we all have our own individual weird humor, right? Like we all find our own things funny. So if there's a girl that you like that maybe is a little weird, that's okay, man. Embrace that weird. Embrace the awkward. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to face those things head on and to see what you're made of. So I would go after her. Let's see. Play sad song, look it up. There's literally the name of the song, look it up, sad song, and play it. All right, I'm going to play it after the live stream. Josh, ever listen to a song called Listen to Your Heart? Listen to Your Heart. That one? 45 watching, 98 likes, 3 dislikes, 115 subs. Whoop, whoop. Oh, we're at 99 likes. Let's get this to 100 likes for those of you who haven't liked it. Woo, 100 likes, guys. We did it. We did it. If you haven't already, hit the like button on this stream. Let me know. We got 5 minutes left. I'm going to try to get through as many questions as I can. And like I said, go follow me over on Instagram. I'm the Josh Speaks on Instagram. And I'm going to do a quick live stream on Instagram. And anyone who follows me over on Snapchat too, follow me, guys, on the Josh Speaks on both. But dumb question from Neon Wave. If you've run into a girl multiple times and briefly engage in a conversation and continue running into them, is it a sign, like, to know your thoughts? Let me think about that again. All right. If you run into a girl multiple times and briefly engage in conversation and continue running into them, is it a sign, like, to know your thoughts? Oh, okay. I hear what you're saying. So you're kind of like, you feel like it's almost like serendipity, like, we keep running into each other. Is there something to that? Why is this happening? Maybe destiny is bringing us together. There's a few different reasons, things that could be bringing you guys together. What I would say is this. It's that I think that, who knows why? Who knows why you guys are being brought together? All you really have control over is what you do in that moment. So if you keep running into this girl, you might want to make a joke about it and be like, I'm always running into you and stuff. I want to learn a little bit more about you. I want to know who you are. Because if I'm going to keep running into you, I gotta know who you are. You can kind of take it in that direction. Maybe not those words. That wasn't the best way to word it, but take it in that direction where it's like, let her see that, hey, you really are intrigued and you're curious to know more about her. You can display that in a way where she can be like, hey, this guy, I run into him too. Maybe there's something to it, so you can both be open to it. I see Vintage Electronic Labs. What did he write? Please answer me, please. Or what's the question? Please answer. So I must have missed the question. All right. Well, please, Vintage Electronic Labs, rewrite your question here, man, and I'll try to answer it. We got 3 minutes left on the stream, guys. But first, I just want to say, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. I said that earlier, but I just also want to say thank you guys so much for being a part of this. This has been an awesome live stream. I hope the things I've shared have helped you guys get prepared and into the mindset for Valentine's Day. I hope you guys feel confident walking in. If not, check out the videos I have, all the videos all week long. I think they're all Valentine's Day themed videos, and they should be helpful for you. But all right, let's get to a few more questions before we wrap it up here. Let's see. Okay, Carter Cothran says, I was dating a girl for a while and I really like her. She said that she wasn't ready for a relationship. Is there still a chance? That's a good question, Carter. I addressed that early in the stream today. But here are my thoughts on that. If you ask out a girl and she says that she's not really ready for a relationship, that's okay. Not everyone is. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more getting to know someone, a little bit more organization in your own life to feel ready for a relationship, right? So like I said, she might be dealing with school stress and maybe stuff at home, maybe friend drama, maybe just, lots of things going on that she may not feel ready for a relationship. Another piece might be that she might feel like she doesn't really know you that well yet, and she needs a little bit more time to get to know you better. So that's something you can focus on. I think if she says, no, she's not really ready, I think there is still a chance. And I think what it really falls back on is you kind of looking at the situation and saying, hey, that's okay. I want to get to know you better too before we go out. So let's hang out sometime. Let's just really dedicate some time to really get to know each other. I feel like Hitch after helping so many people. Too bad I'm not as rad as Will Smith. Man, none of us are as rad as Will Smith. Will Smith is Will Smith. Come on. Can't compare. All right. Vintage Electronic Labs. There's this girl I like. She's a grade below me. She's a friend's sister. I told my friend he's fine with it. She's nice around me. Where do I go now? Okay. So you like this girl who's a grade below you. She's a little bit younger. And, everything is cool with the friend's sister, her being the friend's sister. I think where you take it here is you have to ask yourself, how is it possible for me to maintain a relationship with someone younger? Now, a lot of times people feel weird about it. They're like, oh, is it weird to date someone younger? My philosophy is that as long as they're in the same school level bracket. So if you're in high school and they're in high school, that's okay. Whether you're senior or freshman, if you're in middle school, they're in middle school, that's okay. How do you make it work? I think it's a matter of talking to her. Now you got your friend's approval, so it's just a matter of talking to her, and maybe your friend can even help you out. Maybe your friend can even kind of say like, "Oh, invite you over one day and talk to a sister there." Utilize the resources of that and really try to get to know her better that way. But don't be afraid to approach her and talk to her if you can. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to go over to Instagram, guys. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. So you can join that post live stream. Can you adopt me as a brother? My other one doesn't claim me. Lethal Brawler, no problem. I think we're all brothers and sisters here, man. We're all here to help each other. Okay. All right. Final question is going to be this one. Daniel Matthew. What should I say to her while we are dancing on prom? That's a good question. So whether it's prom or a Valentine's Day dance or homecoming or any of these kind of dances, when you're there in the moment with someone, you're enjoying the experience, you got to remember, it's like the other person is probably a little nervous, a little, DeMarco said, "Are you a camera?" Because every time I look at you, I smile. So everyone's a little nervous. No one knows what to expect at a dance or a prom. So what do you talk about? How do you kind of make conversation work? I think a good thing to do is to focus on the basics there. Yeah, you can ask them to dance and yeah, you can spend time together. But if you have a moment to sit down or someone to pull away from the music and just talk, tell them, be like, "So what do you really like? Like, you seem like a really awesome and fun person to get to know, and you're just an awesome person to hang out with from what I saw you dancing there. And what do you like? What do you like to do for fun? Tell me about your hobbies and your interests." Like at the end of the day, whether it's someone in class or someone for Valentine's Day you want to ask out, or a coworker or someone younger or older, or any of these kind of different variations, it all comes back to human communication. That is the key to all conversation. It's showing people that you're willing to listen to them. You're willing to open up to them. You're willing to flirt and joke and kind of create a situation where you're going to be very mindful of how the two of you are interacting. That's where it all boils down to, guys. That's where we're going with it. So if you run out of things to say, if you don't know how to address things at prom, always default back to that. What do I want to know about this person? What do I want to really learn about them? And that's where your mind should go. That's where you should focus it. But guys, thank you again for being a part of this. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, thank you all. DeMarco, Neon Wave, both of you guys, all the people in here, Infinite Ideas, Christina, Kyla, Numbskull, all the people asking questions, A Gamer, Star Galactic Gamer, Patriotic Pluto, Daniel Matthew, Average Game, Christopher, Artalejo, Infinite Ideas, I think I said already. All the people in here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. Thank you for asking your questions. I really hope if you missed it, you jumped in somewhere later, I'm going to put the timestamps so you can jump to all the questions. That's going to be in the comment section of this video. And thank you guys, man. Like, I feel like without you guys, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing, like writing my book, which is going to come out sometime in the spring. Doing these live streams, making videos. I think we got a fun group of people here. And at the end of the day, we're all about being our best selves, trying to help each other achieve that point. So last minute tips on getting a date for Valentine's Day. My last minute tip is basically this. Talk to the person that you really, really care about. Show them that you really, really care about them and go for it. Just go for it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Join me over on Instagram right now. I will see you guys there. As always, love and peace. See you guys next time.